Lebanese security forces have fired several rounds of tear gas at anti-government protesters who are on the streets of central Beirut demanding accountability after Tuesday's blast which ripped through the city. Thousands of demonstrators poured into Beirut's Martyrs Square calling for revenge against the ruling class of politicians widely held responsible for the explosion that lay waste to large swathes of Lebanon's capital. The air was thick with tear gas as people filled the main protest site, with the demonstrations stretching to surrounding neighborhoods and the city's main motorway. In the biggest protests since a nationwide uprising last October, a Lebanese protester speaks with security forces in downtown Beirut on August 8, 2020. More than 100 people have been injured in the protests, including 22 who were transferred to hospitals, according to the Lebanese Red Cross. The security forces' response did not appear to disperse many of the angry protesters. One woman who fell over as she stumbled over people running in her direction said, "They bombed our city. I will go back in." Her face soaked with tears. She picked up her belongings, as well as some stones, and headed back into the crowd. "You survive an explosion in Beirut only to be tear-gassed," said one man in his 2000 tweeties as he held an onion to his mouth to mitigate the effects of the gas. A Lebanese demonstrator breaks a shop window during clashes with security forces in Beirut. The demonstrators erected mock gallows in what were dubbed Judgment Day protests, as grief gave way to anger after more than 154 people were killed and dozens more remain missing. Over 5,000 people have been injured. Effigies of prominent political leaders, including former Prime Minister Saad Hariri and Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah, were hanged from nooses. In some of the most explicit signs of public outrage the country has seen in years. Protesters held signs reading, "Here is where the nooses should be hung." The mock gallows have become a key symbol of the demonstrations, which are demanding that those responsible for the Tuesday's blast are held accountable, as well as against corruption and mismanagement of the country. The effigies of leading politicians were attached to mock gallows which have become a key symbol of the demonstrations. The gallows were erected in the same place where several people were hanged more than 100 years ago by the then ruling Ottoman Empire for revolting against Istanbul. The Martyrs Square statue commemorates those executions. Protesters scaled the walls that have sealed off Beirut's Ejame Square, where Lebanon's parliament stands, for months, and attempted to tear the barricades down. In one video, soldiers were seen taking cover in archaeological ruins as protesters threw rocks at them. Thousands of tons of ammonium nitrate are linked to Tuesday's catastrophic explosion in Beirut's port. Multiple government agencies in Lebanon were repeatedly warned about the substance, described by an analyst as a floating bomb. CNN learned, "We were born and raised with this regime in place. We believe it's time for it to go, especially after the last explosion," said 18-year-old protester Dana Itai. "These politicians deserve to be hanged here. They deserve even worse, honestly." Protesters were calling for the downfall of the country's political elites. Protesters threw stones at riot police near Ejame Square. "I lived the civil war. I was displaced. Lived harsh days, and we already lost houses in the war. We thought that was it," said Hayat Garazedi, 51. "These days, however, are worse than war. You have no idea how you might die now. Which is the most scariest thing. I wish I could hang them myself," she added. Demonstrators came to the Judgment Day protests bearing nooses as grief gave way to anger. Some protesters occupied a Foreign Affairs Ministry building in eastern Beirut, unfurling a large banner over its severely damaged structure that called for the disarmament of Hezbollah, the Iran-backed Lebanese armed group and political party. According to Lebanese TV channel El Bisai, one of the demonstrators declared the building the headquarters of the revolution, through a megaphone. Lebanon was already embroiled in an economic meltdown prior to Tuesday's blast, which obliterated its main port, destroying grain silos. The international community has already sent emergency medical and food supplies to the country and are pledging tens of millions of dollars in funds. Tuesday's disaster may have also brought the country's political crisis to a tipping point. Since a popular uprising in October toppled the government of former Prime Minister Saad Hariri, public disgruntlement against the ruling political class has been rampant, accelerating a financial crisis that is one of the worst the country has ever seen. 5 members of parliament have resigned in protest, in addition to some high-profile official resignations. Authorities have detained 16 people in connection with the blast, including Director General of Lebanese Customs, Badr Idaha, the head of Beirut Port, Hassan Kratam, and the former head of Customs Chafik Miri.